At a water treatment plant, a worker is on a walkway. A sudden, massive explosion erupts from a basin below, obliterating the structure. This is likely a methane gas explosion, a known risk in such facilities. Proper ventilation and gas monitoring are critical. On a construction site, a forklift operates near a mobile crane being assembled. Suddenly, the crane's massive, improperly supported boom topples, crashing down directly onto the forklift and its operator. This catastrophic failure stems from poor rigging and a lack of stabilization. Complex lifts demand meticulous planning, stable ground, and ensuring every component is secured at all stages. A worker on foot directing the operation also highlights a failure to maintain a safe exclusion zone around the lift. At a rural gas station, an attendant refuels a motorcycle while the customers remain seated on it. Fuel spills onto the hot engine and instantly ignites, engulfing the bike and its riders in flames. Panic erupts as people, now on fire, fall to the ground. This horrifying incident is a direct result of ignoring basic safety rules. Engines must always be turned off during refueling to prevent hot surfaces from igniting volatile fuel vapors. The chaotic attempts to extinguish the fire also show a lack of emergency preparedness. On an automated factory line, a worker leans into a machine's path to make an adjustment. A large robotic arm, not equipped with presence-sensing safety devices, activates and strikes him, pinning him against the conveyor. After he is pulled free by co-workers, another worker enters the same danger zone and is immediately struck and trapped by the same robotic motion. This demonstrates a catastrophic failure of lockout, tag-out procedures. Humans must never enter an active robotic work cell without completely de-energizing and locking the system to make accidental startup impossible. At a roadside tire shop, a mechanic is inflating a large truck tire without using a safety cage. The tire's structural integrity fails, and it explodes with devastating force, throwing him and others to the ground. This illustrates the critical importance of using a reinforced safety cage for all high-pressure tire inflations. On a city sidewalk, a manhole cover suddenly explodes upwards, sending one person flying and causing them to fall into the open hole. These explosions are typically caused by the ignition of sewer gas or a fault in underground electrical cables, making them an unpredictable urban hazard. In a paper factory, a worker's leg becomes entangled in the giant rotating rollers of a paper winding machine. The powerful machine slowly pulls him in as his colleagues desperately try to figure out how to stop it. They struggle with the controls, unable to reverse the machine's direction in time. This horrific incident is a direct result of missing or inadequate machine guarding. All in-running nip points and rotating parts must be completely enclosed by physical barriers to make it impossible for workers to come into contact with them. The lack of a clearly accessible emergency stop button compounded the tragedy. Two men are riding unsecured in the back of a small dump truck on a dirt road. The driver takes a corner too fast, causing the unstable vehicle to lose its balance and tip over. The men are thrown violently from the truck bed as it crashes onto its side. This is a clear lesson on the dangers of transporting passengers in a cargo area. These spaces lack safety restraints and expose individuals to extreme risk of ejection during sudden maneuvers or accidents. Following a traffic accident, a victim lies injured on the road. As bystanders rush to help, a car driving in the opposite lane fails to notice the person on the ground and runs them over. This tragic event highlights the critical need to secure an accident scene immediately. Using hazard lights, warning triangles, or directing traffic is essential to protect the injured and first responders from secondary collisions, which are often just as deadly as the initial crash. In a poorly constructed room, a person is sleeping on a cot. Without warning, the concrete slab roof above them gives way, collapsing and burying the individual under tons of heavy rubble. Rescuers immediately rush in and begin frantically digging through the debris with their bare hands to pull the victim out. This catastrophic structural failure is a direct consequence of subpar construction and lack of proper reinforcement. It underscores the vital importance of adhering to building codes and using qualified engineers and builders, as any shortcuts in overhead construction can have fatal consequences for those below. In a repair yard, a mechanic is working on a truck with its cab tilted forward to access the engine. Another man works on a pickup truck parked directly in front of it. Suddenly, the hydraulic prop holding the massive cab fails, and it slams shut, crushing the man working on the pickup. This is a critical failure of basic maintenance safety. Never trust hydraulics alone. A secondary mechanical safety lock or a properly rated support brace must always be used when working under any raised heavy component. During a demolition, workers use a small front-end loader and a makeshift hoist to lower a large metal smokestack. One worker stands directly in the fall path, guiding the base. The temporary rigging fails, and the massive pipe crashes down, striking the worker and pinning him. His colleagues rush to try and lift the immense weight. This incident is a textbook example of disregarding rigging safety. Never stand under a suspended load. All lifting operations must be planned by a competent person, using properly rated equipment and maintaining a clear and respected drop zone at all times.